I wouldn't even be giving him a ticket, but he refused to identify himself. So. You can't walk in the middle of the road like you were doing. The easement is not on the roadway. The easement is off of the roadway.
Okay, so
I wouldn't even be giving him a ticket, but he refused to identify himself. That single admission, captured on Officer Jay Lingo's own body camera, transforms this encounter from a routine pedestrian stop into a constitutional crisis.
You can't be walking in the middle of the road right here. There's a sidewalk on the other side.
I'm walking in the easement. I mean, you know,
the easement,
this is the easement right here.
No, the easement is 15 feet off of
I'm
the...
just trying to get to where I'm going, sir.
You need a ride?
No, I don't need a ride.
Well, you can't walk in the highway.
So I can walk in right here.
You can walk on the grass as much as you want.
All right.
All right, you got ID on you?
I don't.
You got name and date of birth?
Do you have a reason to ID me?
Yeah.
What's the reason?
So you're... Move up here for me, if you don't mind.
Crime?
Move up here for me if you don't mind.
You got your body cam on?
It's red.
Okay.
So you can't walk in the middle of the road like you were doing.
Uh-huh.
The easement is not on the roadway. The easement is off of the roadway.
Okay, so as far as I know, a pedestrian is considered the same as a cyclist. Okay. As far as I know, state of Arkansas, a cyclist can ride down the road. You're not going to tell cyclists to go down the grass.
Can you walk on the highway, on I-40?
I don't know.
No, you cannot.
I'm not going to tell you that I do know. But I don't see cyclists on I-40 either. But I do see cyclists down this.
So, I'm just letting you know.
I'm not trying to have an argument with you.
I'm not trying to have an
like
argument with you either.
But
we got a 911 call.
Okay.
And I'm making contact with you, and we have to do reports on everything that we do.
Yes, sir.
That's Chief Earnhardt's policy. If you have an issue with it, you can contact him Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
He just left.
Is Jay Lingo?
Yes, sir. I got a business card here if you want one.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Would you like a copy of the report?
Yeah. I could do that with the phone.
Hey, Tim Petty, can I get a report number, please?
Where are you guys located at?
Wilson Farm Road, right up next to First Security Bank.
Okay. And are you threatening me with an arrest for the ID?
Okay, so here's the deal. I have a legal reason to make contact with you.
Okay.
So therefore, I have legal reason to demand identification.
You suspect me of committing a crime?
You were walking down the highway.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
Is that an arrestable offense?
It's interfering with the traffic way. I can cite you for it if you want to.
I was on the shoulder the entire way. I don't see how.
No, you wasn't. There is no shoulder here. So go ahead and give me your ID and we'll give you a citation, okay?
Well, I'm going to refuse the ID.
Okay, go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a citation. You can either cooperate or not.
I've been completely cooperative.
On April 8, 2024, in Greenbrier, Arkansas, David Hayes was simply walking home along Highway 65. He wasn't drunk, he wasn't violent, and he wasn't impeding traffic. Yet minutes later, he found himself in handcuffs, not because he committed a crime, but because he dared to exercise his right to remain anonymous. This case forces us to confront a terrifying question. Is your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable seizure valid only until a police officer's patience runs out? Does a badge grant the authority to manufacture a crime just to punish contempt of cop? Today, we are dissecting the anatomy of a retaliatory arrest to determine if Officer Lingo was enforcing the law or simply enforcing his ego.
Go ahead and take that backpack off. I don't want to cut it. You got something wrong with your shoulders?
No.
All right.
No. I do have cannabis pen in my pocket.
That's fine. I'm not worried about
I
that.
have a prescription.
I'm not worried about that. Hey, 10 PD, I got one detained.
I mean, I'm really not one to go this route. Look, I mean, I work at the hospital and stuff like that. That's all I do.
I don't want to go this route either.
But I mean, I'm not gonna give you an ID for walking down the road, sir. Sir, I'm not gonna do that. I believe that I'm firm within my constitutional rights.
I'm going to give you a citation for impeding traffic.
Okay.
You can either give me your name and date of birth now, and I can run you and give you a citation, let you on your way, or I can take you to jail, get you fingerprinted, get you ID'd that way, give you a citation in jail.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to. I'm just not. I don't want to get any criminal charges, sir. But I'm not going to give you an ID without the arrest. I'm not going to give you an ID.
Okay.
I believe I'm firm within my constitutional rights on this. You know, I mean, I'm getting my life right and stuff. I haven't been in no trouble or anything like that, you know. But I believe I'm well within my rights, sir. I'm just walking to my father's house. All right, I've walked damn near 20 miles from home. All right, I'm just trying to see what I can do. I'm trying to get down the road to test myself, and I'm not gonna ID.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat. You got anything else on you?
No, but I don't consent to a search.
Okay, well, you're arrested right now.
You can do whatever you feel like you're legally allowed to do, sir.
Let's break down the timeline of this constitutional failure. At the outset, Officer Lingo asserts that Hayes is walking in the middle of the road. However, the visual evidence tells a different story. Hayes is walking against traffic on the far edge of the pavement in an area where no sidewalk exists on his side. While Arkansas Code Title 27, Sections 5.1 generally advises pedestrians to use sidewalks where available, the law does not demand citizens to teleport across a multi-lane highway, one without crosswalks for miles, just to satisfy an officer's preference. When Hayes challenges the officer's assertion by claiming he is in the easement, Lingo retorts that the easement is in the grass. This is a trivial dispute over semantics that Lingo uses to manufacture a detention. But here is where the encounter shifts from a safety check to an unlawful seizure. At 000046, Lingo demands identification. Hayes, exercising his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and his Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search, refuses. In the state of Arkansas, this refusal is not a crime in isolation. Under Lamb v. State, Arkansas Rule of Criminal Procedure 2.2 allows an officer to request information, but it explicitly states that such encounters are consensual. To compel identification, an officer must operate under Rule 3.1, which requires reasonable suspicion that the person is committing, has committed, or is about to commit a felony involving danger to persons or property. Officer Lingo attempts to bridge this legal gap by claiming Hayes is impeding traffic, a traffic violation, not a crime involving danger to persons or property. By threatening arrest for the refusal to provide ID, Lingo is attempting to enforce a stop and ID statute that simply does not exist in this context. The situation culminates at 000335. Lingo handcuffs Hayes, not because Hayes presents a threat, and not because the alleged jaywalking offense warrants custodial arrest, but purely as a punishment for non-compliance. This is the exact moment Officer Lingo abandons his duty as a peace officer and assumes the role of a tyrant. He has deprived a citizen of liberty based on a misinterpretation of the very laws he swore to uphold.
I'm not authorizing.
Okay, give me a minute. So, I got a 911 call. This guy walking in the middle of the road. He was walking north in the southbound lane of traffic, and I got here, refused to identify himself. I advised him I was going to give him a citation for walking in the middle of the roadway, and he still refused to identify himself. So I hooked him up and put him in the back, and I'm calling you to see what you advise. No, sir. He acts like a ex-convict, but he said he's trying to get his life straight and stuff like that. I haven't searched his bag or anything like that, but there is a statute for walking in the middle of the roadway. Yep. Because I had legal reason to make contact with him, so all right. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. All right, so I just got off the phone with my chief, and he agrees with everything that I'm doing. So you still want to go this route?
I don't want to go this route.
I don't want to go this route either.
I'm firm on my rights, sir. I'm just going to be completely firm on my rights.
Okay, so here's the deal.
This can destroy everything that I have going in my life, but I'm going to stick by my rights, sir.
Okay, so here's the deal. You were walking in the middle of the roadway, which is illegal.
Sir, with all due respect, I was on the shoulder. I wasn't
was not.
Right in the middle of the road. I mean, I wasn't acting a fool or a
there is no easement here. The easement is the grass. That's the easement.
And I get what you're saying, sir, and I'm not trying to argue the law with you or anything. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Okay? All I'm trying to do is just to get to where I'm going, and that's it.
So do you have warrants? I mean, is that why you're not wanting to identify yourself?
I have no warrants.
So
I have no warrants. I don't want to identify myself because it's my rights. Okay, I've been off probation 5, 10 years.
Okay.
You know, I have nothing to hide from you, sir. I've told you I got weed in my pocket.
I don't care about weed.
It's still in my pocket. You know, I don't have anything in my bag at all, sir. I mean, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
So, where we go from here is up to you.
I mean, I'm just going to 21 Thornberry.
Okay. And you're more than welcome to either walk in the grass or on the sidewalk.
And I would be more than happy to walk in the grass, sir.
But I have to identify you.
I'm not arguing the fact of walking in the grass or anything like that, even though I still believe that if a cyclist can ride bike down here as well as I can.
They can't.
And I might be wrong. I'm not telling you that I'm not wrong, sir. I'm not telling you I'm not wrong, but I don't see, is it a crime?
Yes.
Is my question. Okay, I don't have my ID. You know what?
Name and date of birth will be fine.
I'm going to do this under threat of arrest.
Okay.
I will give you my social or whatever.
Name and date of birth will be completely fine.
David Hayes. And this is just under complete arrest.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Hey, got a question for you. I can't remember the phrasing that it's used on here for like pedestrians walking in the highway. Yeah, walking northbound in the southbound lane of traffic. We're making it to where cars got to move out of the way to prevent from hitting them. Yeah. Say what? 2751 1206. My book skips from 41 to 53. Uh-huh. Because he wasn't crossing, he was walking northbound, so it would be the pedestrians prohibited on controlled access highway. Alright, that's what I got. I wouldn't even be giving him a ticket, but he refused to identify himself, so.
Now let's audit the legal gymnastics performed inside that patrol car. At 010119, we witness a disturbing phenomenon common in bad policing: reverse engineering probable cause. Officer Lingo has already deprived a man of his freedom, yet he is frantically flipping through a code book and calling his chief to find a justification for it. He eventually lands on Arkansas Code Section 27511206, claiming Hayes was a pedestrian on a controlled access highway. This is a fatal legal error. A controlled access highway is legally defined as a roadway designed for unhindered traffic flow. Think intersections, no traffic lights, and no private driveways. Look at the footage. Highway 65 is lined with businesses, turning lanes, and signalized intersections. It is a commercial arterial, not a freeway. By citing this statute, Officer Lingo isn't enforcing the law. He is fabricating a narrative to cover his tracks. But the most damning evidence comes from Lingo's own mouth at 001524. I wouldn't even be giving him a ticket, but he refused to identify himself. This statement is a confession to a constitutional violation. Under the Supreme Court's ruling in Neves v. Bartlett, 2019, a retaliatory arrest occurs when an officer arrests a citizen not for a crime, but to punish them for protected speech. In this case, Hayes' refusal to speak. While the presence of probable cause usually defeats a retaliation claim, the court carved out the Neves exception for minor offenses like jaywalking. If an officer rarely enforces a petty statute, but suddenly decides to enforce it against someone challenging their authority, the officer loses their immunity. Furthermore, Arkansas is not a blanket stop and ID state. Section 571-213 requires identification only when a person is loitering without apparent purpose, causing alarm for safety. David Hayes was not loitering. He was transit walking to a specific destination. By arresting Hayes solely for contempt of cop, Officer Lingo violated the Fourth Amendment prohibition against unreasonable seizures and the First Amendment right to petition the government for redress of grievances without fear of punishment.
Nay.
All right. I'll call you back and we'll have our day in court. When would be a good time for you to go to court? Kind of like a jaywalking ticket. Won't go any driving record or anything like that, or, and since you're not on probation, you won't. Alright, so from here we can go one of two ways. Where'd you say you're going?
I'm walking to Thornberry Cemetery.
Thornberry Cemetery. That's right. That's right on the end of the hill, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to, you can walk, or I can give you a ride after I uncuff you.
I gotta go walk.
Okay. You can go ahead and step out. You go ahead and grab your stuff. So, your court date is going to be 5/15/2024 at 1 p.m. at 11 Wilson Farm Road.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can contact this number on the back. They'll give you all the information you want, all right?
All right. Appreciate you.
You have a nice rest of your
Is
evening.
the police department on here too?
Greenbrier PD, Greenbrier, Faulkner County. Address is 11 Wilson Farm Road. That's the Greenbrier deal. My badge number, 810, Officer J. Lingo, and you also have my card.
All right. Appreciate you.
We could have avoided all of that.
I'm sorry, sir. I mean, I'm an American.
You are an American.
I have to, whatever I feel is my rights.
And that's your. Everybody has to do what they have to do. Abraham
Yes.
Lincoln said the only rights you have are the ones you're willing to fight and die for.
Yes, sir.
But as it states right there, it is illegal. So I had a legal reason to make contact with you. We had a 911 call. So if you didn't refuse to identify yourself, all I would have said was either walk on the grass or walk on the sidewalk.
Yes, sir.
And that would have been the end of it. But now we have a court date. If you feel like you've been unjust, then we can have a conversation with the judge about it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Appreciate you.
No problem. And stay either on the grass or on that side of the sidewalk, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you want the water?
This incident wasn't just a failure of individual judgment, it was a systemic collapse of professional policing. Perhaps the most disturbing detail is not Officer Lingo's ignorance, but his phone call to his superior. Lingo claims his superior agreed with everything he was doing. If true, this reveals a department-wide culture where constitutional rights are treated as optional inconveniences and where supervisors rubber stamp civil rights violations to protect the fragile egos of their subordinates. Lingo's comment that Hayes acts like an ex-convict simply because he asserted his rights is a dangerous psychological tell. To a bad cop, a citizen who knows the law looks exactly like a criminal. This mindset criminalizes knowledge and weaponizes the badge against the very public it is sworn to protect. The fact that a judge later overruled Hayes' 10-day jail sentence confirms what we already knew. This entire process was a punitive farce from start to finish. Officer J. Lingo, grade F. Officer Lingo fails on every conceivable metric. He escalated a consensual encounter into a custodial arrest without statutory authority. He cited a traffic law that does not apply to the roadway in question. Worst of all, he explicitly admitted on camera that the citation was an act of retaliation for Hayes' refusal to surrender his anonymity. Lingo treated the law not as a shield for the public, but as a sword for his personal grievances. Citizen David Hayes is a textbook example of how to handle a tyrant. He remained calm, he never physically resisted, and he clearly articulated his rights. While walking on a highway shoulder carries inherent risks, Hayes successfully baited the officer into revealing his unlawful motive without ever breaking his composure. He fought the battle on the roadside with his silence and won the war in court with the truth. Actionable takeaway. If you find yourself in David Hayes' shoes, remember this: you cannot win a roadside argument with an officer who is willing to invent laws. Do what Hayes did. Do not physically resist. Clearly state, "I do not consent to any searches," and ask, "Am I being detained, and if so, for what specific crime?" If they arrest you unlawfully, let them. Your silence is your ammunition for the lawsuit that follows. This is a reminder that in the eyes of the law, a badge is a symbol of public trust, not a license to bully.